Hello and welcome to the 139th episode of Downtime Podcast. Technically, this is a side quest, right, Alyssa?
Yeah, this is a side quest. We're going to have a good time in our first podcast in a while. So,
yeah, we're back. Well, I mean, we didn't really go anywhere.
We're just working
because we're stuck at home.
We're just working way too much. So,
yeah, life gets in the way sometimes, all right? And it prevents you from doing things that you really want to do, such as this podcast.
Exactly.
Basically, Alyssa and I's schedules are, they just get busier over time. But yes, as you said, we are here now. We're ready to talk.
Yep.
This is the Relationship Podcast number 2. But as we mentioned before the podcast, Lisa, we've been watching romance-related shows, not to prepare necessarily for this specific podcast, but they've just been things that have been on our backgrounds, and it's kind of subtly prepared us for this podcast in a way, I think.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
I think we're ready to go for it.
Yeah. Should we start with questions?
K-dramas.
Shout out to K-dramas, J-dramas.
Yep.
And the like. All right. So we got one question from Hooded Dude. Thanks everyone for submitting your questions related to romance. I think this is going to be a good podcast. I think we're going to learn things.
Yeah, quite a variety of questions too.
I forgot what we talked about in the first one. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, same here. The only question I remember on that one is who pays on the first date. So like that's all that's how long ago it was. I don't even remember what was on the first one.
Oh yeah. All right. So the first question from Hooded Dude is: anybody ever have a dream of yourself or your significant other being unfaithful and had a shitty day because of it?
I have not. And okay, to preface it, I don't remember my dreams when I wake up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people where I wake up and within 5 minutes I don't remember what the dream was anymore.
No, same. It's rare that I remember my dreams.
That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if I have. But in general, like just to twist that question, I mean, like, I've thought before if my partner was being unfaithful for like different relationships in my life, like just not I feel like it's just like it's not like anything prompted it. It's just kind of like a thought that you have in the back of your head just because like you reach a point sometimes in your relationship where you feel insecure for whatever reason, and then just like when you're insecure, all these bad thoughts come in whether or not they're even true.
Yeah. No, it really yeah, no, that's a good point because it depends on your feeling before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
That being said, I did actually have this dream a few months ago, this year. So, I didn't really have too shitty of a day. I just mulled over it, and when my girlfriend woke up, we talked about my dream a little bit, and she's like, why would you feel that way? And I'm like, I don't know. It's not, maybe like the stress from work kind of made me feel that way about how you feel, or how you are, because she's so far away. And I think that those two feelings combined kind of mixed that to make that dream come true. And then I was like, damn. No, the dream didn't come true. Sorry. It made that dream happen. Not that it actually happened in real life. Sorry. I should clarify. And it's not my dream for my girlfriend to be cheating on me. That's terrible. And vice versa too. She also had a dream about me cheating with someone else, and I was like, why would you have that dream? And then she basically had the same reasoning, and I was like, oh, we need to stop working so much.
To that point, because you were talking about long distance, I think it's a very common feeling if you're in a long distance relationship to have thoughts like that, just because, especially if you don't see that person, like not even like once a week, like you see that person more like 2 times a month or like once a month, then
or maybe less,
or maybe even less, then I feel like it's a common thing to have those thoughts.
Yeah, totally.
And then the second question is how to deal with dating and relationships during quarantine. I was lucky I had just gotten into a relationship when it started, otherwise it would have been tough. So what makes the quarantine a little bit tough for me and my relationship is that I don't live with my boyfriend right now. So we live in two different households, and we both have two different like in our households, like different family members have essential jobs as well. So it's like it's a little bit difficult. Like we talk every day, but just seeing each other is hard just because we don't live with each other. It's easy, I guess, in a quarantine relationship where if you two are already living in the same household. And I'm one of those people who believes in the quarantine as well. Like I'd rather just be cautious, like rather be safe than sorry. But we both have that understanding, so I guess that's what makes quarantining easier.
I mean, first of all, you should be believing in the quarantine.
Yeah, I mean,
if you didn't, oh my God,
let's be real, Jeremy. Not everyone believes in the quarantine. So.
It's true. Yeah, listen, your beliefs are your own. Just don't go near me, okay? Don't break my beliefs. I'm trying to be as safe as possible and not get corona, because I am one of the people that's susceptible to the disease.
Oh yeah.
If I got it, I'd probably die. So
yes,
please. My girlfriend lives on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, more than 5,000 miles away. And we definitely do not live together. She has a job where she goes to work every day, and it scares me, and that's the part of it's the part of her job though. Like she has to do it, otherwise she's not gonna have a job. So I'm just like, all right, I'm stuck at home. It's like we're living opposite lives. Like she lives with her folks. I live with my brother, and she goes to work like on a train every day, and I stay at home all the time. But yeah, to echo your words, Alyssa, I don't live with my girlfriend. We live apart. To deal with the relationship, I'd say we text each other, and we try to video chat every chance that we get. She sends me her schedule of when she's off of work, and and then we try to coordinate because she's in a different time zone, which is basically the next day. And her days off really depend on her job and when her job decides. And because her vacation time is really non-existent. Well, I would say is existent. Well, it depends, because it's interesting because her company in Japan really is a very forward-thinking company, but her PTO and vacation time is very limited, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we try to work with what we have. We both have an understanding that we can't see each other during this time. At first it was hard because everything was set to go. I was set to go see her. I was ready to fly on that plane and land, but both of our governments stopped people from traveling to their respective countries.
Yeah.
So, and Japan put the U.S. on the blacklist. So I'm just like, well, if I had gone through with the plan and landed, I would have been stuck in Japan. I would probably still be stuck in Japan now.
It's very well deserved, though. We suck. Don't accept us.
Yeah. What are you doing? Why are you accepting us? Don't accept us in your country.
Don't do it.
Yeah, we're terrible with this whole virus that's going on.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, there are a few individuals who are doing their best to not, spread the virus. Although I see some of you out there without wearing masks. Like, come on, wear your masks. It's mandatory in California. So, please do it.
Do you think that you'd be able to survive a relationship in the quarantine if your relationship just started?
I really think that depends. It depends on a lot of factors. For Hooded Dude, it sounds like he's able to probably see his significant other. So yeah, I mean, it depends on if I had a long distance relationship that I just started when the quarantine started, I think it would be difficult.
I think if I started a relationship but we lived together, I think potentially that would last. But if we started a relationship and I didn't live with that person, I don't know if it would. Realistically, for me, I don't know if it would have lasted.
I feel like there are a lot of couples out there that kind of just started their relationship before COVID hit, and they're probably dealing with it right now, or maybe they aren't a couple anymore because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your questions. I know you have another one later, which we'll get to.
Yes.
But let's move on to PJ's question. Are you upfront about your feelings when you reveal you like someone, or do you wait till the other person confesses their feelings to you? Oh my gosh, this is such a good question, actually. I think we grow as people, as individuals over time. So I think our worldviews on relationships differ. Maybe the media influences you. Maybe your friends influence you. Maybe you just have a little bit more confidence. For me personally, I say I could probably sway either side depending on the person. There's I know this is gonna sound like the previous answer, but there are a lot of factors. There's a lot of little nuances. When I was in high school, for example, I was really shy about confessing my feelings. So I tried to avoid it as much as possible, but I wanted that person to let them know that I had feelings for them. So obviously I would do silly things like give them a note, you know, or try to ask them to prom. Because there were a couple girls that I really liked in high school, but I didn't have the confidence to approach them normally. But hey, yo, what's up? I like you. That's
you needed to get hints first before you actually made a move.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You don't want to just go in there blindly and be like, hey, well,
Yeah.
So yeah, with my current girlfriend, I was very upfront with her about how I felt, and I got some strong hints from her side too, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it was just her being a friend, or if she really wanted to be in a relationship, because we would text each other every day. She would come over frequently and we would hang out, but I didn't know if that was just me being friend zoned or if she actually did like me too. So I told her, and then she's like, yeah, I feel the same way. I was like, yo, you want to go out though? And she's like, yeah. It wasn't like that, but I'm just embellishing a little bit. I actually did at one point. I didn't know if one of my exes liked me, and I kind of waited for her to say something, and then she did. So that's why I mentioned that I could probably probably have it happen both ways, because it really depends on the person and the situation and all these other factors.
I think in my life, I've either been very upfront or I've dropped a lot of super heavy hints that if you can't tell, then you're really not that into me.
Yeah.
In general, I think I like to tell someone if I'm interested in them or I like them in a sense that I want to kind of go on with my life if the person doesn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't, and I do that by feeling too. I wouldn't tell someone that I liked them if I didn't get that vibe. But if I couldn't tell what the vibe was, or if I couldn't get a sense of if they liked me, then that's when I would drop some heavy ass hints to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the heaviest hints I think I could drop to someone that I really like is if I'm willing to hang out with them for a whole day or talk to them for a whole night, and and do that in a kind of like more like flirtatious way. That like if it's like if I can tell that you don't like me after that, then you probably don't like me like that.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what separates like me just confessing to someone versus like I'm afraid to confess to someone, so I'm just gonna drop a lot of hints in front of them.
Want to go to a movie? Yeah, I'll invite friends. How about just us? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you want to go to Costco? Oh, are we inviting everyone? Yeah.
Dang.
So, I mean, and that's how you know.
Yeah, that's how you know. No.
That's how you know.
That being said, I want to pose another question, which is,
Yes.
how do you know that someone's a keeper?
Huh.
Because I got a good story. I could start if that's okay.
Very simple answer to the question. Someone's a keeper if we have the same, like, it's such a basic answer, but someone's a keeper if we have the same values. And to pinpoint an exact, like a very exact thing, someone is a keeper if they appreciate my grandma.
Aww.
So that very simple answer.
That's easy. I mean, like,
yeah.
You know, your grandma should also be accepting of them too, right?
Oh yeah. And then
For
one
sure.
more thing. I think someone's also a keeper if they just like someone's a keeper if they just know my favorite food and then they just like bring it all the time at random times. Like when I'm not even asking for it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I was going to say one of the things that I think that someone's a keeper is if they remember little details. So to tie back into your point,
yes,
if they remember your favorite food, like let's say it's your birthday and you weren't expecting it and they give it to you, you're like, holy crap, I did not expect you to remember this, you know? Or they give you a birthday gift that is relevant to something that you mentioned before in the past, even if it was just once, you know?
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
it's the devil is in the details.
Yes.
And I think that's a really good little detail. The other thing that I want to say is I think this is a very big one is someone that goes above and beyond for you. So an example would be one time I was visiting my girlfriend because she was living in Sacramento for a little bit. So I visited her. I drove up with a rental car and it was supposed to be returned like that evening. So I drove up there. We had breakfast. We were just chilling. We went back to her place and I started feeling really sick. I had like a really bad fever for some reason. And I don't know what caused it. It wasn't the food. It just came out of nowhere. And I really like couldn't get up. I couldn't drive. And I was like, I might have to extend the rental and stay here. She's like, she had a landlord that wouldn't let guests stay over for the night. So I was like, oh yeah, I can't stay here. So I had to drive back, but then she's like, I will drive back with you. And I was like, no, I can't let you do that because then how are you going to get back? She's like, I'll just take the bus tomorrow. I was like, oh no, it's okay. I can be okay by myself. And she like really insisted. She like packed her bag and she's like, all right,
Wow.
all right, we're going to go drive back. I was like, oh my God, you're crazy. She's like, no, it's okay. So we drove back to San Francisco from Sacramento. She stayed the night over at my place. Like we had like a simple meal of like chicken soup and just chilled. And yeah, and then I escorted her to the bus and she took the bus back. The next day I was feeling much better. She would do anything for me. And that was one of the things, which was like going to a different city in the same state that was like an hour and a half away, 2 hours away. So
that's pretty amazing.
I mean, from that point on, I was like, damn, you're a keeper.
That's pretty amazing. Ever been in an open relationship or know anyone who has? How did that go? You know, really random. Have you heard the story about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith before we start this question?
I have heard rumors. I don't know if it's like true. Is it true?
Yeah, so basically what happened was Jada Pinkett Smith, who is Will Smith's wife, actress and podcaster. So she was in an open relationship with an R&B singer named August Alsina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then they just revealed a few days ago that they were in an open relationship. And the reason that she revealed that is because August Alsina on a different podcast revealed that he was in a relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, and it was an open relationship where Will knew that they were dating.
That's interesting.
So it's like all the parties know.
Wow.
Yeah.
August Alsina is really young, and Jada Pinkett Smith is like much older. That's wow.
Hey, so you mean like Cougar Town, I guess.
Cougar
I mean like if older guys are dating younger girls, then say vice versa can happen, I guess. How old is August Alsina anyways?
He's born in 1992. He's 27.
He's 27. Whoa, he is a lot younger than I thought he was. I thought he was like 32 or something.
Nah, yeah.
Whoa, he's actually okay. Shit,
yeah, see, that's why I was
age?
like,
Whoa.
yeah. I was like, wow.
Okay, that is a lot younger than I was expecting.
Jada Pinkett Smith is 48.
Like 48.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow. I mean, that's
Okay,
not a problem if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was like over 30. I thought he was like 32.
Oh no. I mean, that would have been like, oh okay. But now I'm just like, huh. That's like if I dated someone that was like way older than me. I'd be like, whoa. Like, how's this relationship working out?
At least they didn't date when like he was like 18 or anything like that.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, 18-year adult. Okay, sure. If she was like 48 and he was 18, like, okay, that's cool. It would turn a lot of heads. It'd probably get a lot of media attention, and people would have a lot of issues with that. But the fact that he's like 27, I think people are like, he's old enough to understand right from wrong.
Yeah. Exactly. It's funny because during the interview, Jada, this is like the famous line that came out of that interview. So Jada Pinkett Smith is trying to downplay it, and she's just like, so we were in an entanglement. And then Will Smith follows up, oh, you mean you're just in a relationship? And then Jada Pinkett's like, yeah.
Trying to hide it, like, nah.
I know.
What do you mean? Just be honest about it. That's really funny. I should watch that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. I think that they're the first couple that's ever admitted that they are or were in an open relationship during their marriage. So
I mean, the opposite would be like what Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, they're clearly not like, they're married for the status and not for the love.
I know. They crossed that bridge when he cheated on her, and then Beyonce was like, you know what? We're going to stay together and milk this for the tour. That's when they jumped the shark.
And they're like, we're going to be featured on each other's songs, but there's nothing more than that. It's like, dang.
Exactly.
Dang. I do know of another open relationship that kind of went very poorly. So do you know who Anthony Birch is?
No. Never heard of him.
So Anthony Birch is a writer, and he's also an actor. He's written video games. He's written stuff for Rocket Jump Studios, which is the Freddie W. owned production company.
Okay.
And he's the brother of Ashley Birch. Ashley Birch is the voice of Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, Tiny Tina in Borderlands, Miss Pauling in Team Fortress 2.
Interesting.
And together they created this show called Hey Ash, What You Playin'? It was a sketch show about video games.
Okay.
Yeah. So, long story short, there's a meme called "At Least I'm Not Anthony Birch," and it's because Anthony Birch, was married at one point to a woman, and he wanted to be in an open relationship with her, and so they agreed, and his wife started seeing other people, and he got jealous. So his wife was having basically more extramarital affairs than he was having, so she left him.
Jesus.
And then he came out, he's like, well, I'm bisexual. So he tried to date men, and that didn't work out, and so then he was like, well, I guess I'm not bisexual. And so
you can't just do that.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just be like, hey, guess what? I'm gay. Like, wait, no, I'm not. Just kidding. It's like, wait, no, what? What? You can't just say that.
I know. I mean, like, you can say that you're experimenting, or you can say you're experimenting or you're queer, but you can't say that, oh, I'm gay. Never mind.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what the heck?
I take that back. It's like you can't say you're gay if it's convenient, and not say you're gay if it's inconvenient. You're either just experimenting or you're queer. So
yeah. By the way, he wrote about all this online.
Okay.
It was like on a blog or something, and he was talking about how he was failing at being in an open relationship because his wife was having more affairs than he was. It's just like,
I see.
It's like, okay, dude, it's not a competition, and you agreed to this.
It's not. Yeah.
So then,
exactly.
Yeah. So the one of the quotes from Know Your Meme, it says, his wife later left him, allegedly taking his Wii U. That's the part that makes you laugh the most. It's like, you took his Wii U?
It's like you had to mention that detail.
It's very important that you mention that she took his Wii U. Not his Wii, not his PS3, his Wii U. Exactly.
The end. The end.
She's
End
like, I'm leaving you, and I'm taking your Wii U. He's like, wait, no, not my Wii U. So, yeah, the meme is like, at least you didn't have an open marriage that failed. At least you didn't come out as bisexual and that failed. And at least your ex-wife didn't take your Wii U. Like, that's the whole point of the meme, is saying, like, at least you don't have it as bad as this guy does.
Jesus.
So that's like one infamous example of an open relationship that I know about. In my personal life, I don't know anyone that's in an open relationship, married or dating. So
yeah,
I unfortunately, hooded dude, I can't really give any insight into that. But I hope that our examples of celebrities and B celebrities, I guess you could say, about Anthony Birch are sufficient enough for your answer.
Yes. Wait. One moment. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yes, go ahead.
I would not be able to handle an open relationship. I would not be able to handle my boyfriend having sex with someone else. And most of all, have my boyfriend have emotional feelings towards someone else. I'm one of those people who's just not cut out for that.
No, I'm in the same boat. I'm fiercely monogamous when it comes to relationships. I only want to be with one person. I only have the mental capacity to be with one person. I think just like multiple people is just too much. There's too much brain effort to be put into that. Too much of a juggling act. And yeah, I also feel the same way, Lisa. If my significant other was like, hey, I'm going to be with other people, I'll be like, no, wait, what about me? What about my feelings?
Yeah, I'm definitely not one of those people cut out to handle that. Like, if my boyfriend ever suggested that, we would break up. It if he really wanted to go for it, I'd be like, nope, can't do this because I can't handle that. It would hurt It would hurt for me personally. It would hurt a lot because this is not the same for everyone. Like, there's people in polygamous relationships and they're totally fine. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith are totally fine, and
maybe Jay-Z and Beyonce, we don't know.
Maybe
exactly.
Them, we don't know. We don't know yet, but they could be totally fine. But I think like like I said, the thing that will hurt the most is I think if someone is emotionally invested in another person. I think that one hits. So
Yo, for real, because I'm emotionally invested in that person. It's like, why do you feel the same? Why do you feel the same way about me that you feel about others? Or do you feel the same way about me? Like, I don't know.
it was really interesting because one of my coworkers tried open relationships and open dating for a while. So she was one of two women who this guy was dating. And it was interesting because it's like they all had the agreement. They all knew it was like completely consensual. So one girl was purely just for physical intimacy and sex, and then my coworker was all for hanging out, actually going on dates and like talking, but they didn't have sex or like do anything physical that much except for kissing. And I was just like, wow, that's really interesting. But also, like, it was interesting for me that like my coworker was okay with not being physical with the guy, and was okay with someone else being physical with the other guy.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like an interesting territory that like I've never crossed, and I'm just a needy person. So like it's hard for me to imagine how that works. But they did it until like she ended and broke it off because she realized that like she was just experimenting with open relationships, and it just wasn't for her. It worked for her at the time when she was just kind of like dating different, like, dating around, and like she wasn't trying to settle down. But eventually when she wanted to settle down, then she broke it off.
You have to be in the right mental and emotional state to
Totally
understand.
Totally. Like there's a lot of people it works for them and it's all good.
Yeah, like, if it works for you.
Holy crap. I just realized there's a lot of people I know who know someone or was in open relationships. One of my roommates in college, she was dating this guy, and they had like a great string of dates, and then he asked her, so the day that he asked her to be his girlfriend, and she was like totally head over heels, she was about to say yes. And then like during the confession, wherever he did it, he was just like, by the way, I have to tell you and be honest with you, I'm polygamous. And then that did not work out for her because I think she was seeking someone who was both the emotional and the physical. Like she didn't want to break that apart. And also,
yeah,
she's a college, we were all college students. Like, how are you going to date someone? I feel like part of that was the fact that they dated for 4 months and he didn't admit or was honest about the fact that he was polygamous. Because I think she viewed it as like he wasted her time because like in the 4 months that they dated, like she would not have dated him if she knew that fact.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
That being said, open relationships are successful if you are also honest about them, because if you're not honest about an open relationship, that's called cheating. So
Yep.
It ain't an open relationship if the other person doesn't know.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part of the open relationship is that both parties have an understanding and they both agree to those terms. Because if you don't, then you're just cheating, as you just said.
Yep.
So if you want to do an open relationship, do it. I mean, let us know how it goes. I'm curious because I've never been in one. I only know celebrities that have been in some, so I don't know anyone personally. That'd be cool to get someone else's point of view from someone that has had experience.
Yeah, like I there was this one time where my coworker brought him to like a happy hour hangout like on one Friday, and then I was like, yeah, the guy is like nice, like he's cool. It's just like it's weird because that he's gonna go home to someone else after. And it's
That's
like,
yeah.
and then it's like we all know that. Like we're all,
That's even worse.
like we're all aware of it. So it's like it's just such a weird concept. But
yeah.
you know, different strokes for different folks.
Exactly.
That's all the questions that we have for this relationship podcast.
Yeah. If you want to submit questions to us for the next relationship podcast, because I do feel like this is going to come up again.
Yeah.
You can
or just submit relationship questions.
Yeah, sure. We'll collect them. If you don't want to submit it for that specific podcast, just send it to us anyways. You can go to www.Downtime.Live. You can click on the contact form and send us a question through there. You can also send us an email at contact@Downtime.Live. Again, that's contact@Downtime.Live to send us an email with your question. You can also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. We could read that on the podcast. You can go to our Discord, which is in the description of where this podcast is hosted. Click on the link. It'll take you to an invite link to join Discord, where we talk about not just relationships, but everything from like movies, TV shows, video games, other forms of media, specific series. Terrace House, very relationship focused show. So yeah, leave a comment on wherever this podcast is hosted. Leave a comment or question about relationships or anything Sidequest related, and we will answer it on the podcast.
Yes.
Did I leave anything out? I feel like I did.
I think we're fine. We're good.
Cool.
This is not relationship related, but I want to pour one out and dedicate this podcast to Mythbuster host Grant Imahara. I don't know if anyone watches Mythbusters, but that was like one of my favorite shows growing up.
Same.
And I'm really upset that the host passed away of a brain tumor aneurysm. So I just want to pour one out for him.
That's heartbreaking.
I know. Because he was really, like, I love that show a lot. And he was awesome. So rest
he was
in
a G,
peace.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he was one of my favorites.
I know.
I mean, they're all my favorite, but he was so cool.
Oh, yeah. I love that guy so much. So rest in peace.
And he was a Bay Area dude.
I know. Oh, sad.
So sad. Well, yeah, rest in peace, Grant Imahara. You're awesome. Wherever you are right now, you're building robots. You're making cool things. Man. Is that it?
That is it.
Is that it? That is it. Anything else we want to talk about?
Nope, that's
Relationship wise.
I think we're good. We're gonna try.
All I gotta say is, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no. If it's relationship related, you should say it.
I just want to say, love what you have. Don't forget what you do. Don't forget what
talk.
You appreciate. No, appreciate what you have with you now is what I'm trying to say. If you feel like cheating, man, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yep. And if you feel like going in an open relationship, it's not open if you don't communicate to the other person. So,
yeah, let us know what makes your relationship a keeper, or if you just want general advice.
Yes.
You can ask us. We're not experts, but we'll do our best.
Yep. And next episode, hopefully, we won't be working. We're just going to have a regular episode, as well as we'll finally, hopefully, do our Last of Us 2 spoiler cast.
The next episode, Alyssa, if I recall correctly, will be streamed live on Twitch. That date will be forthcoming. Alyssa and I will determine a date, and we'll let everyone know.
Is the spoiler cast going to be live casted, or the regular episode's going to be live casted?
The regular episode.
Okay, okay, for sure. I was
not the spoiler.
Okay, I was about to say like, oh snap, the regular.
No,
Yeah.
Just the regular episode.
Okay, for sure.
Anyways,
cool.
That's it for podcast 139. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time it is that you're listening to this podcast.
Peace.